I am Lee Blue, and this is Solution First Marketing Part 2. So last week, we talked about Solution First Marketing Part 1, which is essentially what is Solution Last Marketing. And this is kind of the structure that most web designers are caught up in. Solution Last Marketing means, you get a lead or a referral, word of mouth, whatever. You meet with the client to figure out what they want, and then you come up with a solution that does all that stuff. So essentially, your solution is last in that structure. But if your solution is last, like if coming up with the solution is the last part of the relationship, then you don't really have anything to market other than the services that you offer. And so now you're going to be stuck saying stuff like, I do web design, online marketing, Facebook ads, branding, the same stuff that everybody is saying. And you won't really be able to differentiate yourself, and your website's going to look exactly like everyone else's website. And if you want to try to maybe offer more value, you might be tempted to lower your price a little bit. And then there we go. Now we're in this price race to the bottom, which is where we're all stuck in. And how do you break out of that? And today we'll talk about solution first marketing. And this is really the solution to fixing that problem. So if you want to learn a little bit more about why solution last marketing doesn't work and how we got there and what the whole problem is, check out last week's episode. You'll have all the information there for that. Today, let's talk about what solution first marketing actually is and why it works so well. And I'll give you some examples of what it actually sounds like and what you say on your website. So the end result is going to be that once you get into solution first marketing, you're going to be able to attract better clients, like significantly higher paying clients. You're going to be able to set yourself apart by building authority and leadership. And you're going to be maximizing your earning potential by moving into value pricing rather than like pricing by page or some kind of fixed price for a website or hourly rates or any of that other stuff. Those other pricing models are going to keep you stuck with pretty inexpensive projects. Whereas if you want to get up into these 5-figure projects and win one of these trophies, this is the DoubleStack 5-figure family award that I mail you when you land a $10,000 project. So if you want to get your pricing up into that realm, you're going to need to move towards value pricing because nobody's going to pay $10,000 or $15,000 or $20,000 like for a website anymore when they feel like they can get it for like $500 to $1,000. So here's the deal with regard to pricing and risk. So if you do the solution last marketing concept, where the last thing that you come up with is the solution, and the first thing you do is you meet with the client, the second thing you do is you figure out what they want, the last thing you do is figure out what the solution is. A lot of times what that means is the client feels responsible for the project. Like they're telling you what to do, and then you're going to go try to do a really awesome job meeting their expectations and doing what they asked. The problem with that is the clients generally don't know what they want. They don't know how to ask for the right stuff, and they feel a lot of responsibility and a big burden is on them to get the results. And therefore, they're going to think, hey, the risk is really, really high here. And when the risk is really high, the price is really low. So like, have you ever had a project where the client has a really small budget, they really want the results out of it, they tell you kind of, what the project layout's going to be, then you do a great job, everybody thinks everything's going great, and then you go to like launch the project or do that kind of final review, and then the client's got like all these edits and changes and like, I don't like that shade of blue, and can you use a different picture, and let's change these words to those words, like all of these different changes come up kind of like right at the last minute. And it's not because your design is bad or anything like that, it's because they're freaking out. It's like, this is my last chance to get some help here. And, I better, work with you while I've got you, because once we launch, that's it, right? And so they're going to be feeling anxiety, they're going to be feeling stress, and then they're going to be very demanding because of that. And it doesn't have anything to do with you. It's because they're freaking out. And they're feeling that, once we launch, that's it. High risk, we got to make it work now. And that also means low price. So that's why the least expensive projects tend to be the most demanding ones, because of the mindset of the client. So solution first marketing also fixes that problem by lowering the risk of the project and therefore increasing your ability to charge more for it. And it's true in pretty much any area of life. Like think about anything, like penny stocks, for example, right? So if you invest in like penny stocks in the stock market, I mean, the risk is really high, right? It's very volatile. The price fluctuates all over the place, but they're penny stocks, right? They're very inexpensive. Now think about like Apple stock. Like there's very little chance that Apple's going to go bankrupt anytime soon. And what's the price of the stock? It's like really high, right? So when the risk is high, the price is low. When the risk is low, the price can be high. So that's what we want to create with regard to your interaction with your clients as well. So how do you lower the risk and increase the price in the context of web design? The answer is solution first marketing. So you put together the solution first and then do the marketing around that solution. So rather than talking about your services, you're talking about the outcomes that your services can bring. And when you do this, you're marketing with authority. And so you're basically asking yourself, what can I do that's the best? Like out of all the things that I know how to do, how can I package together the stuff that I do the best? Because that's what you're going to feel the most confident in. That's what's going to get the best results for your clients. And of course, that's what you can charge the most for. So you put together a package like that and then go and market the solution rather than the services that go into the package. So ask yourself, why would someone hire you? And here's an exercise that you can do right now. It's a legit exercise, and I strongly recommend that you do it. And it's really simple. Ask yourself, why would someone hire me? And then pull out a notepad or an app or something like that and divide it into two sections. And like the top section will be why you want people to hire you. And then the bottom section can be why you think your client might want to hire you. And so what you're doing is you're looking at why people would hire you from your perspective and your client's perspective. And you're going to be thinking, I want people to hire me because, I want to grow their business and get them more leads and, increase their revenue and build their audience and, scale their business. Like all of these probably business related reasons why people want to hire you. But then if you're honest with yourself, based on what your marketing is and how you're attracting clients, and you look at the bottom part of your list, why clients are going to hire you, they're probably going to be saying things like, somebody who can build a really good website, someone who's got customer service that's great, somebody that's, that I can, trust to do the things that I need, things like that. And that sounds good. It sounds good. Of course, those are legit reasons why people might hire you. But think about what you're setting yourself up for. Are you setting yourself up to be a leader and to show your clients how they can get better results? Or are you setting yourself up to be micromanaged? And I think what you'll find, if you're like a lot of web designers out there, that top part of your list, where the reasons why you want to be hired, will be leadership related things, like things for how you can benefit your client's business. The bottom part of the list are probably going to be service-driven things. Like I need somebody to manage my social media. I need somebody to build and deal with my newsletter, or I need somebody to build me a website. Like these service-driven things. And if you set yourself up based on those types of things, you're setting yourself up to be micromanaged. If you want to set yourself up to be a leader, don't market yourself based on services. Market yourself based on the outcomes. Have people believe in your strategy and believe in you and say, yes, those are the outcomes that I would like to have in my business. And then they leave you alone to go do your thing and create those outcomes rather than micromanaging you. And then when you actually, get ready to launch everything, you don't have that high stress, crazy, change everything right now kind of situation, because they're like, hey, we finally got this thing that works. Let's go ahead and do it. And everything works so much better. So let's look at a quick example of what this looks like so you can maybe be able to kind of put this into practice. So here's an example. Suppose you wanted to work with like authors and speakers. Like that was kind of a target market that you felt like you had access to. And you've kind of observed that a lot of these people tend to sell like $9 ebooks and try to, kind of make a living off of that. And you're thinking to yourself, wow, you know what? I think we could do more than just sell an ebook on Amazon. We could probably like build a really cool website. We could build an email list. We could set up a drip campaign and do lead nurturing with that. We could launch a podcast to kind of build some authority, maybe set up an online community. We could, create an online course, right? So like if you're working with authors and speakers who talk about how to do something, like how to improve your marriage, how to get a better job, how to do anything, like how to do organic urban gardening. Like I know a guy who wrote a book about organic urban gardening, which means like a lot of people think, hey, I live in the city. I can't have a garden. I don't have enough space. I don't even have a yard. And this guy shows you how to basically stack things on levels with basically like a tiered garden box thing. And you can have this awesome garden right in the city where you don't even have to have a yard. Like you can bring in some dirt and put in these boxes and everything. You've got this really cool setup. What if you set up an online course for that? So instead of just trying to sell this $9 ebook on how to do organic urban gardening, what if you also had like a paid membership area and like maybe some kind of a mentoring program for the summer, and you had like weekly calls and an actual membership course thing and the e-commerce for all that, facilitating the payments and facilitating the tech to actually do the meetings and everything. So like set all that up as like a whole package. And now you're building these extra revenue streams for people who might otherwise have been just focusing on how can I sell more of my $9 ebook. And then when you package all that together, don't go out and say on your website, we do online courses or we do membership sites or we do websites and marketing for authors. Like package together the actual solution and say what the outcome is. Say something like, here's how the top authors and speakers are building 6-figure revenue streams while everybody else is hustling to sell $9 ebooks on Amazon. Right? It's like, say that. And then people are like, boom, that's exactly what I'm looking for. If I could do something like that, clearly that's a lot better, right? Because not only am I selling the ebook, but I also have this huge other thing that eclipses whatever the revenue would have otherwise been just selling these ebooks. Like I'm making like 5 or 10 times more than I otherwise would. Maybe dramatically more because it's really hard. Like think about how many transactions you got to get to make a living off a $9 ebook compared to like a $1,000 membership doing, organic gardening or something like that, or how to get a better raise or how to do whatever. It could be anything, right? Anything that's helpful to people, help people not only sell the book, but also set up a course and build a whole system around that. And then you've got something that's different, right? So now you're saying, here's how the top authors are building these 6-figure income streams and everybody else is just stressing out trying to live off $9 ebook sales, right? That's what you say. So that's an example of solution first marketing, how you're not, because keep in mind, you're not saying we build websites, we do email list building, we do pay-per-click. Like all of that might be part of the package, but you're not marketing based on that. You're marketing based on the outcome of, wow, like I am an author and a coach, and wouldn't it be great? I do have this book and I'm not really seeing the sales I want out of it. Maybe I'm getting some sales, but it's not generating the revenue I need. I need a better solution than this. And look, I didn't even know this existed. This is perfect. This is exactly what I'm looking for. Look at that solution. And now people are hiring you because they believe in your strategy. They believe in your solution. They're seeing the potential that it has. And they're not just trying to price your services based on what they think a website costs. You see the difference? It's huge. It's a huge difference. That's how you win these trophies, is to you make a solution like that and price your work based on the value that you're creating for your client. And you get your pricing up into the $10,000, $20,000 range, as opposed to, $1,000 or $2,000 just trying to like sell a website. So you can literally 10x your price without scaring away clients because you're lowering the risk, right? You're like, I've got a solution that works. This is much better than just trying to willy-nilly sell ebooks. And it's definitely a lot better than just hiring some random garden variety web designer who builds websites. This is somebody who knows how to do exactly what I'm trying to do, right? You see how you're connecting as like an insider into their community as opposed to an outsider just trying to like sell stuff to people. So it feels a lot better when you're talking to people. So all of the things that normally are stressful or just don't work at all are fixed by basically doing it all backwards. You see how that works? So if you want to figure out how to do this for yourself, and you maybe want to talk to, maybe you don't work with authors and coaches. Like I was talking to a guy yesterday who focuses on artists. And like normally you might think, oh, artists, they're broke. They don't have any money, starving artists, that whole thing. Well, this guy, he knows people that do murals. They paint murals on walls and stuff for like somewhere between $5,000 and $80,000 for one mural. Right. So you get somebody, a couple of leads like that, you're building a 6-figure business off just a handful of leads. Right. So wouldn't it be valuable to know how to do that? So like maybe that's you. Like maybe you have an audience that you could tap into that's like that. And you want to figure out, well, what kind of package could I put together? And how do I market? And what do I say? And, what should the pricing be? And how do I present that to clients? And how do I get the clients in the first place? And, all of those different types of things. Like how do you do more than just the website, actually get results for people, package all of that up, and then find the clients that really want your help. So if that's sounding like you and you're sick and tired of these cheap websites that don't get anybody results, right? That doesn't get the client results because you're not there to get the results because everything's so cheap and then you're not getting paid the rates that you want and everything feels stressful and you want to shift out of that, head on over to doublestack.net/call. So that's doublestack.net/call. My calendar will pop up and you can pick a time for us to talk. So you'll see a bunch of different slots, pick one that works for you, and I'll call you at the time that you select. And then we'll be diving into this stuff and figure out exactly how we can implement all this stuff together in your business for free, right? So like, if you want my help implementing the stuff we talk about, we can talk about that. If you just want to take the roadmap and do it on your own, that's fine too. But the overall point is, if you want to get your income up into the six figures, you don't want to be cranking out 3 or 4 websites every month. But first of all, it's not very fulfilling. Secondly, you've got to find leads all the time. And third, there's no way that you can really maximize your earning potential because you're finding leads all the time. And finding leads at best is something that you do for free, meaning that if you say you spend half your time trying to find leads, that only leaves the other half of your time to actually do the billable work. So what you want to do is you want to maximize your billable hours. And usually you have to spend money to find leads, right? You're buying ads or something paid marketing of some sort to try to drive in traffic and to try to get the leads. And of course, that's eating into your profits too, because now you increase your costs. So you can get away from all of that. Like, we don't usually even buy any ads when we run these high ticket proposals by people. Like, so I'll show you how organic ways to drive leads into your business for high ticket sales. So we'll talk about all that stuff. Head on over to doublestack.net/call and we'll deal with how to restructure your whole business like that. And next week in part 3, we're going to be talking about solution first marketing one more time. And we're going to be going into the question of, well, okay, what if I make this solution, but I don't have any clients for this solution yet? Like, do I have to have like a big portfolio in order to get clients? Like, how does that work? Like, what if someone says, okay, you work with authors and speakers, show me the authors and speakers you work with so that, you can kind of verify that you can do what you do. We'll talk about that next week, and we'll kind of have like this approach for solving that issue. But for today, and if this is already resonating with you and you want to get away from those low budget projects, hop on over to doublestack.net/call. We'll get on the phone and we'll get that roadmap laid out for you. And that way you'll be on the right track to winning one of these trophies. Awesome, guys. Looking forward to talking to you there. And I'll see you next week.